Have you ever felt completely drained after talking to someone? Like all your energy, all your good vibes have just been vacuumed out of the room? If that sounds familiar, you've likely encountered what we call a toxic person. It's a term we hear a lot, but what does it really mean? A toxic person is anyone who consistently brings negativity and upset into your life. Through their actions and words, they leave you feeling emotionally exhausted, stressed, and even questioning your own worth. Dealing with these individuals isn't just about having a thick skin, it's about having a smart strategy. It's not about fighting fire with fire or getting sucked into their drama. The smartest people don't play the game. Instead, they change the rules. Today, we're going to dive deep into the exact strategies smart, emotionally intelligent people use to handle toxic individuals. These aren't just quick tips. They are powerful shifts in mindset and behavior that will protect your peace, preserve your energy, and empower you to keep your life positive and on track. So, if you're ready to learn how to deal with difficult people without losing your sanity, stay tuned. First and foremost, smart people recognize the signs early. They don't wait for the emotional damage to pile up. They're like emotional detectives looking for clues. What are these clues? Constant criticism, even when it's disguised as a joke. An uncanny ability to make every single conversation about themselves. A habit of playing the victim in every scenario, refusing to take any responsibility. They might manipulate you with guilt, cross your boundaries without a second thought, or create drama out of thin air just to see what happens. A smart person sees these red flags and doesn't make excuses for them. They don't say, "Oh, that's just how they are," or "they're just having a bad day." Instead, they acknowledge the pattern. Recognizing toxicity isn't about judging someone as a bad person. It's about recognizing that their behavior is bad for you. It's an objective assessment of how an interaction makes you feel. If you consistently feel worse after being around someone, that's your data. That's your proof. And acknowledging that truth is the first and most crucial step to protecting yourself. Once they've identified the toxic behavior, the next thing smart people do is absolutely critical. They refuse to engage. Think of a toxic person like someone who wants to play a game of emotional tug-of-war. They hand you the rope by being provocative, by complaining, by criticizing. They're waiting for you to pull back. They want a reaction. They thrive on the drama, the argument, the emotional response. So, what does a smart person do? They drop the rope. They don't pull. They don't argue. They don't defend themselves against baseless accusations. They don't try to reason with irrationality. Engaging is like pouring fuel on a fire. It only makes it bigger. Instead, they practice the art of the non-committal response. A simple "I see" or "I'll have to think about that," or even just a calm, neutral "okay." This isn't being passive, it's being strategic. It's called gray rocking. You become as uninteresting and unresponsive as a gray rock. You give them nothing to latch onto, no emotional hook. When they realize they can't get a reaction from you, they get bored. The game isn't fun anymore. Their power comes from your emotional investment. When you withdraw that investment, you take away their power. You're not stooping to their level, you're rising above it. Now, this leads us to the third and perhaps most empowering strategy: setting and enforcing firm boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are the rules of engagement that teach people how to treat you. Smart people understand that their mental and emotional well-being is their own responsibility. They don't wait for toxic people to magically start respecting them. They command that respect through clear boundaries. A boundary might be verbal. For example, if someone is constantly criticizing your choices, you might say, "I appreciate your concern, but my career choices are not up for discussion." It's polite, it's firm, and it ends the conversation. Notice it's not an attack. It's a simple statement of fact. Boundaries can also be about your time and energy. If a friend only calls you to complain for hours on end, a boundary might be saying, "I only have about 10 minutes to chat right now." You are controlling your availability. If a family member brings up a sensitive topic just to get a rise out of you, you can say, "I'm not going to talk about this," let's change the subject, or I'm going to have to leave. The key part here is enforcing the boundary. If you say you're going to leave and they continue, you must leave. Otherwise, your words mean nothing. Enforcing your boundaries will feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're a people pleaser. But every time you do it, you're sending a powerful message to yourself and to others: my peace is not negotiable. The fourth strategy is a shift in perspective. Smart people don't take toxic behavior personally. This is a tough one, but it's a game changer. They understand that a toxic person's behavior is a reflection of their own internal struggles, their own insecurities, and their own unhappiness. It has very little, if anything, to do with you. You just happen to be the target in that moment. When someone is lashing out, manipulating, or being cruel, they are projecting their own inner chaos onto the world. A happy, secure, and emotionally healthy person doesn't feel the need to tear others down. They just don't. When you realize this, it's incredibly liberating. Their insults lose their sting. Their drama looks less like a personal attack and more like a cry for help or a display of their own brokenness. This doesn't mean you excuse their behavior. You still need your boundaries. But it stops you from internalizing their negativity. You don't let their poison become your own. Instead of thinking, "What did I do wrong?" you think, "They must be going through something really difficult to be acting this way." This emotional detachment is a superpower. It keeps you from getting sucked into their vortex and allows you to respond with calm, strategic clarity instead of a knee-jerk emotional reaction. Fifth, smart people focus on solutions, not problems. A toxic person will often want to wallow in the problem. They'll complain endlessly, rehash every detail of what went wrong, and point fingers at everyone else. They are professional problem admirers. A conversation with them can feel like being stuck in a loop of negativity with no escape. A smart person skillfully redirects the conversation. When confronted with a stream of complaints, they might ask, "So, what do you think a good solution would be?" Or, "What steps are you planning to take to address that?" This does two things. First, it forces the person to shift from a complaining mindset to a problem-solving one. Often they have no interest in solutions, and this question will stop them in their tracks. Second, it protects your own energy. You're refusing to be a passive sounding board for endless negativity. You're signaling that your time and attention are valuable and are best used for constructive purposes. If they can't or won't engage in a solution-focused conversation, it's a clear sign that they just want an audience for their drama. At that point, you can politely disengage, knowing you've done your part to steer things in a positive direction. This keeps you in control of the conversation's tone and trajectory. And finally, the smartest strategy of all, when possible, is distance. Sometimes, no amount of gray rocking, boundary setting, or perspective shifting can make a relationship healthy. If a person is consistently detrimental to your mental health, despite your best efforts, the smartest and healthiest choice is to limit your exposure, or in some cases, cut ties completely. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of profound self-respect. You are the curator of your own life. You get to choose who gets a starring role and who gets written out of the script. Creating distance could mean unfollowing them on social media to avoid their daily dose of negativity. It could mean choosing not to attend certain social gatherings where you know they'll be. In more extreme cases of persistent toxicity, especially in non-essential relationships, it might mean deciding to end the relationship altogether. This can be a painful decision, especially if it involves a long-term friend or family member. But smart people know that their well-being is paramount. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If a relationship is constantly draining you, it's preventing you from being your best self for the other, healthier relationships in your life. Choosing distance is not about punishing the other person. It's about protecting yourself. It's about choosing peace. So, to recap, smart people recognize the patterns early. They strategically disengage and refuse to play the game. They build and enforce strong, healthy boundaries. They don't take the behavior personally, understanding it's a reflection of the other person. They focus on solutions, not problems. And when all else fails, they create distance to protect their peace. Dealing with toxic people is a skill, and like any skill, it gets better with practice. It's about being less reactive and more proactive. It's about valuing your own mental and emotional health above the need to please everyone or win an argument. You have the power to control how you respond, and in that power lies your freedom. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope these strategies give you the confidence to handle any difficult personality that comes your way. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content on living a smarter, more empowered life. Drop a comment below and share a strategy that has worked for you. I'd love to hear from you. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.